It's a great day to be a Texan, a Tennyson Texan. I want to welcome everyone to this momentous occasion. Today we celebrate the groundbreaking ceremony of Tennyson Middle School. We appreciate all of you coming out here today for this special day. Of course, the day wouldn't be come to fruition if it wasn't for Dr. Kincannon and her team, as well as the board members. For several weeks, we have watched out the windows and we saw the land being cleared and prepared for the much anticipated build of our brand new campus. And this is an exciting time for our staff and students, and I'm thankful and blessed to be the principal here at Tennyson Middle School. Our students and teachers deserve a school that reflects the pride and dedication they show each and every day. It's amazing to think that a year from now, can you imagine a year from now that there'll be a building here right behind me? That's crazy. We are thankful for the community and investing in our students and teachers and for building a middle school that reflects the promising talent and the bright futures of our Tennyson Texans for years to come. I'm honored to introduce our next speaker, Kyron Barrett. He is currently a fifth grader at Parkdale Elementary and a future Tennyson Middle School student.
May you push up? Okay. Oh, let me move. Hello, my name is Kyron Barrett, and I am a fifth grader at Parkdale Elementary. I wanted to take a moment of your time to tell you about how I feel about switching schools for the first time and how it may impact me. I'm very curious about how it will be at Tennyson. What kind of food choices will we have at lunch? What new learning opportunities will I be afforded? And how do Atlas courses compare to other classes? Switching schools for the first time will be fun because I get to explore a new place that I will have to adapt to. I feel this will positively impact me because I will not be seeing the same teachers and students that are familiar to me from Parkdale. I am thankful Waco ISD was thoughtful in knowing that we need new schools for us and the future students in the community. Another reason I look forward to going to Tennyson is because I will not be an elementary student anymore. For the first time, I get to make choices about the classes I take and electives I prefer. I have not decided, but I am thinking about being in the band or theater. I am excited to see what these classrooms will look like and all the new equipment and technology that will be provided. Parkdale is a great school that has wonderful teachers and principals that have supported me academically and socially in my educational journey. Leaving Parkdale will be a transition, but I am looking forward to and anticipate that middle school is just as enjoyable and memorable as Parkdale.
He speaks better than me. Thank you, Kyron. That was very inspiring. Our next speaker, Talea Carter, is a current sixth grader at Tennyson Middle School.
Hello, my name is Talea Carter and I'm a sixth grader here at Tennyson Middle School. I would just like to share with you guys a little bit about this school. I enjoy all of my classes, although they are a little challenging. I also enjoy getting to know all of the staff members and students. Everyone is great at making each other feel safe and making each other feel like family. This is a great school for upcoming sixth graders. This school teaches students respect, responsibility, maturity, and safety. This school challenges you because teachers and administrators know you have great potential and want you to succeed. For the new school, I am very excited. Teachers have displayed designs and showed us how the new school will be a better learning environment and will help to provide better education for students. Overall, this is an amazing school that provides amazing opportunities.
Thank you, Talea. We're honored to have Dr. Robert Duran, a former Tennyson administrator, here as a special guest speaker. Today, he serves as an administrator and associate executive director of governance services for the Texas Association of School Boards.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for having me. I'm reminded of how grateful I am for the warmth of the sun. And I'm not reminded of that during June and July and August, but today I think we need to be mindful of that. Let me begin by saying that I am a very proud graduate of Meadowbrook Elementary School, which I understand is no longer an elementary school. Dr. Kincannon informed me. But at the time that I entered that elementary school, it was a fairly new school. I was in a portable building. I fell in love with my first grade teacher there. Thought I'd marry her someday. That didn't work out. But I remember a mouse came in and she jumped on the desk, and that was the only thing I remember about first grade, I think. I'm a proud graduate of University Middle School, which I understand no longer exists. They've remodeled that one. By the way, I grew up a block and a half away from Baylor Stadium, which I understand that no longer exists. And then, of course, I graduated in 1976, a proud graduate, the graduating class of University High School, which I understand that no longer exists. And so some younger folks in the crowd going, how old is this guy? They're tearing down everything. But I do want to make some brief comments because my roots run very deep in Waco. I mean, my sister who wanted to be here was elementary teacher of the year here. My dad helped open Jefferson Moore High School. And I'm going to take some folks way back. I remember as a small kid, I used to travel with Jefferson Moore's football team with Coach Hicks, Coach Dawson. You don't remember those names, but again, my roots run deep here. And I'd also be remiss if I did not mention that we recently lost one of my mentors and someone who really guided me. He was a principal here, Mr. George Dupree. He invited me over here to be his assistant principal, and he taught me a lot while I was here. We had some challenges here, but we did some good things here, and I love my experience here at Tennyson Middle School, which, by the way, they're going to tear that down too. Okay, and I'm beginning to think it's me now. But as I connect the dots backwards here in my life in Waco, I'm reminded about how fortunate I was to be a student and even administrator here in Waco ISD. I was principal at Provident Heights Elementary, which I understand that's been remodeled. Principal at Sol Ross Elementary, which I understand they tore that down and closed that school. But all of that to say, I joke about that, but it was a real blessing for me, not only to be a student beginning at Meadowbrook, as I mentioned, to become an administrator, and even to be considered at one point to be the superintendent of schools here. And you know, I owe that really, as you get older, you can, as Steve Jobs said, you can only connect the dots backwards. And as I do that, you know, I think about how blessed I was to be, first of all, be born here in Waco, the family that I was born into, and the schools that I attended here in Waco. At the time, maybe the facilities needed improvement, the band halls, the football field, baseball fields, things like that. I didn't know it at the time. I had great teachers who taught me how to, fall in love with reading. And yes, you're going to become a college student when, quite frankly, many in my neighborhood weren't going to college, but they saw that potential in me, particularly Miss Reagan, who was Miss Reagan at the time, but Miss Lessman, we lost her as well. She saw me as a superintendent of schools way before I did, and trust me, I gave her reasons not to see that, but she did that. She saw that in me. Taught me to fall in love with reading, and that changed my life completely. And so that's what these schools represent. I joke about, out with the old and in with the new, but that's just a sign that Waco, because of its leadership in the past that I was not aware of, had the foresight to evolve this district and this city to do what's best for these kids. And we've already heard from some future superintendents, President of the United States, CEOs that are going to be here and take advantage of this brand new school and change their lives as it's changed mine. I want to thank you for inviting me here. There's a country song it says where I'm from. If you're not where I'm from, you just don't get it. And I'm from Waco. I tell people I'm very proud to be a part of Waco, be a University High School graduate, and for the people whose shoulders that I stand on that led me to eventually, get my degrees, come back to Baylor, get that degree, and flourish in my career. Thank you, Dr. Kincannon, for having me. Thank you for the school board members, for the taxpayers here. Thank you for your support of the school bond in 21 and maybe future bonds to come. Your trust in the leadership here and your love for education and what it can do for these kids is remarkable. I'm an example. I think that Dr. Kincannon was sitting in her office saying, now who's old enough to remember the history of Waco? And somebody said, Dr. Roy, he's pretty old. We ought to bring him down here. But thank you for having me. I'm an example of what this district has done for thousands and thousands of kids and what we'll do in the future. So thank you for having me.
Thank you, Dr. Duran. I don't know if you're old or if I'm young. You graduated before I was born. So. It is my pleasure to introduce our very own Waco ISD Board of Trustees President, Stephanie Korteweg.
Thank you so much. Woo. Thank you so much, you guys, for being here. This just means so much to our kids. It means so much to see your support and have you here. I want to take a couple of seconds real quick just to thank our Board of Trustees who's here representing. So I want to thank our Vice President, Jose Vidania. We have our Board Secretary, Jeremy Davis. We have Emily Iazetti on the Board of Trustees, Angelo Ochoa, and Jonathan Grant. I just feel like we've just got to acknowledge that this district is doing some outstanding work, and our students and our staff are reaping the benefits. We're making huge strides in academic achievement, attendance, athletics, fine arts, and just about every program we offer. But there's always more to be done. And this administration does not shy away from putting in the hard work to move our district forward. The English poet Alfred Tennyson once wrote, "To strive, to seek, and to find, and not to yield." That is exactly what we have done and continue to do in Waco ISD. Dr. Kincannon and her team took on a massive undertaking in the long-range facilities planning process, and I know our community is grateful that she did. Her leadership resulted in the initial plan that ultimately a successful $355 million bond that made it possible for a new G.W. Carver, Waco High, Tennyson Middle School, and Kendrick Elementary. This is a huge accomplishment, and I am so grateful for her dedication. This is a third groundbreaking in less than a year, and a chilly one at that. And these feelings of excitement and hope for the future are only getting stronger. We would not be here today if it was not for the extraordinary community support we have received. So please give yourself a hand, because I have known this community to support our kids day in and day out. In fact, we would not be here if our community did not come out strong in support of the 2021 bond. We just want to thank you from the bottom of our hearts, and we'll continue to always do our best to honor our commitment to the students, staff, and families of Waco ISD. Thank you.
Thank you. And last but certainly not least, our esteemed Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Susan Kincannon.
Good morning. We knew one of these were groundbreakings where we were going to hit some cold weather, and sure enough, we did. Thank you all for being here. And how about a special thank you to Bradford McMillan for facilitating this today. Bradford just joined us as the principal of Tennyson Middle School right after Christmas. So first-year principal doing a fantastic job here, and we're thankful for him. And so I want to thank you again for joining us this morning. It's going to be a little over a year before the school is completed, about 17 and a half months. And all of this space around us is going to be transformed into a beautiful, modern, new middle school for 1,060 students. It's an exciting time in Waco ISD, and it's certainly an exciting time for our students, our staff, and the families of Tennyson Middle School. And I was so happy to see those teachers come out this morning. I know you're cold, but thank you for coming out of the building and joining us for this special occasion. We have several special elected officials and special guests with us here today, and I would like to thank them for joining us to celebrate the future of the new school. I'm going to go quickly because I see you shivering. Jolene Hoffbauer is here representing the Texas House of Representatives, right here in the front. Mr. Jim Smith, McLennan County Commissioner, thank you for coming. Josh Borderud, Waco City Councilman, District 3. Thank you. Josh has made all of these, and we appreciate that. David Horner, newest councilman for the city of Waco. Thank you for coming. And our city manager, I believe, is here, back here in the back. Thank you, Bradley Ford, for being with us today. We also have Dr. Peaches Henry, president of the NAACP. Thank you for coming. When I reflected on this project, it's been a really busy time, and as I'm out and about thinking, I've been churning what this new school means to us and what's happening here, and what I might want to say to you all about it. What came to the top of my mind, was how important this new school will be for our students and staff, and how incredibly grateful I am to the community for passing a $355 million bond program that made this possible. That's my first thought. My second thought was, is it done already? Because we need it, don't we? We need it for our kids, and our staff deserve everything that this new school will bring, and we're all ready for what's to come. But designing and building a school for over 1,000 students is not something that can happen overnight. It takes a lot of visioning and planning, both at a creative and a technical level. It takes architects and engineers, interior designers. It takes experts. It takes contractors. It takes kitchen and theater consultants, and it literally takes hundreds of skilled workers who have been trained in all aspects of construction. I was recently reminded of the phrase paint done. It's a concept conveyed by one of my favorite authors, Dr. Brene Brown. It's the idea that we should create space for input to ensure that we all have the same vision of what accomplishing a goal will look like. Brene says that in creating that space, we unearth expectations and intentions and give the people who are in charge of the decisions or projects lots of color and lots of context. Paint done is hard work. It takes intentionality, it takes time, and when it's done properly, it fosters curiosity, learning, collaboration, reality checking, and ultimately success. I'm proud to say that the new Tennyson Middle School was designed with paint done in mind. It was uniquely designed for us and undoubtedly will be a successful project. From visioning activities with our long-range facilities planning committee to meetings with teachers, coaches, nurses, librarians, cafeteria managers, and others, with our talented architectural team, we've allowed space for input into the new design of every aspect of this school. Paint done for Tennyson Middle School means a new school that will be built to meet the needs of our students, staff, and community. It captures what's important to us and addresses the needs of every program that we offer our students. Paint done means that we will have a school that our students and staff will be proud of. It means goodbye old green chalkboards, sagging ceiling tiles, and aging portables. It means a school where all classrooms are safely under one roof. It means adequate restroom facilities, a new band hall, a new 8-lane track. It means inviting collaborative learning spaces with state-of-the-art technology and a variety of seating options so that our students have increased opportunities for physical movement. Most importantly, paint done means that we ultimately meet the needs of today's students and teachers. It means increased student engagement levels, reduced teacher turnover rates, better classroom management, and higher levels of achievement. This new building, when completed, will allow us to meet our vision of creating a better future for all. And I'd like to say thank you today for everyone who's made this possible, members of the district's Long Range Citizens Planning Committee, current and former board members, our architectural firm, O'Connell Robertson and team. Thank you, Amy Jones and Jared Sturzinger, for being with us today. The team from Core Construction, Gary Frazier, president, is here. Stephen Butler, project director, and Coy Ryan, who'll be the job superintendent on site every day. And I'd like to thank our chief of facilities, Gloria Barrera, and her team for managing the oversight of this project and for working diligently to keep us within budget so that we can honor our promise to our taxpayers. Thank you again for your attendance today and for your continued support and love of our kids. Now, I'd like to ask our board, our elected officials, Dr. Duran, our student speakers, our cheerleaders who came out today to come up and have join us for a picture. When we get done with that picture, we'll have some pictures with our architects and contractors. If you would allow the board to be right in the middle, and then we'll all fill in around them. Thank you so much. Everybody got a shovel? Students, grab a shovel if you're on the end. 1, 2, 3.